Welcome back everyone to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast, and this time it is going to be a 2v2 on Crossing in the Woods. Actually sent in by I do not know who. Well, there is Aaron playing as the Soviets, Guard 2707 playing as the UKF, and in the south side for the Germans we have Lord of the Phallus playing as the UKW, and yeah, Korean name that I can't pronounce, playing as the Wehrmacht. And the reason I do not know who sent it in is because I forgot to look. And yes, there's a sync error detected because there was a hot fix for something about Ardennes assault. Yeah, sure, relic. Anyway, no Cubewagens coming from Lord of Phallus. That's unexpected. I expected him to go for a Cubewagen. It's really good on crossing, but I guess he's gonna go for lots of Volksgrenadiers. Guard 2707. On the other hand, goes for his light vehicle, the Universal Carrier, and that's probably a pretty good choice. Now, yeah, I'm thinking that the Brits will be able to win this engagement with the help of the UC. On the right side, we have a sniper team from Aaron. Interesting choice for the sniper team first. That definitely detracts from the Soviet map control because he had to build the Special Rifle Command with his Combat Engineer Squad. And then he builds a sniper, which takes quite a while to train and doesn't really have a lot of capping power himself. And he's also pretty expensive at 360. But now he's going to be able to pick off things like this machine gun quite well. Now, yeah, the UC is doing really well. It's managing to get quite a lot of casualties down on these poor Storm Pioneers, and now also the Volksgrenadiers are fearing its wrath. And of course that forces Lord of Phallus to go for a Raketenwerfer, which is a really good action by the Brits already, because that kind of made Lord of the Phallus spend 270 manpower, right? Yeah, 270 manpower on a Raketenwerfer when he normally would not have. Of course, there is a M3 scout car as well, and Volksgrenadiers over here don't have the Panzerfaust because they don't have any buildings. But, of course, thanks to the Raketenwerfer, they managed to finish it off with just rifle fire. Now the Allies know that there's a Raketenwerfer, so Raketenwerfer already paying for itself, destroying the scout car. So the Soviets right now, Aaron, he's really on the back foot. He's got one P... No, that's also an engineer. So he's got an engineer, a Pino, and his sniper team. And that's basically all he's got left. To hold an entire side, and that's not very good. Of course, on the left side we have Guard 27 doing much better, which can provide him with some breathing space for a comeback later on. Yeah, unfortunately for him, he does not really know that this is coming. There's a German sniper trying to counter-snipe the Soviets, and yeah, I'm guessing that it's going to be able to pick off at least one of the snipers in the sniper team. Let's see. What is this guy doing? Well, he takes a shot, and the German sniper, does he manage to kill one? Yes. So now Guard 2707 and Aaron know that the Germans have brought out a sniper of their own, and so we'll be much more careful with the scout sniper team. Here comes a huge satchel charge, and that's going to force the Grens to get out of that building. Of course, building collapses, and that decreases the German defensive capabilities on this side of the map. On the left side, yeah, there was a bit of a ring around the rosy with that poor infantry section just hiding behind the building, but it manages to get out. So very good play by Guard, and now he can essentially secure the left side and capture the field point, which is really important because right now the Allies don't have any of the field points, but they're about to capture both of them. Of course, the German sniper can't really open fire on these Pinos, because if it did, it would be exposing itself to the counter snipe of the scout sniper squad. The problem with the sniper, the German Wehrmacht sniper, is that against the Soviet two-man sniper, of course, if it kills one of them, then the second member can return fire and instantly kill the German sniper. So that's really the big problem. And oh, another big problem is that it's about to get overrun by a six-man penal team that's just charging down the center. Lucky for it. Ooh, looks like a rifle grenade went down. Lucky for it, the MG42 is there to cover the sniper, and rifle grenade takes out a penal squad. So lots of losses coming in from Aaron. Both the loss of the scout car and the penal squad being very, very painful for him. Of course, he's building some more penals, but it's going to take him a while to actually recover. And in general, he's pretty behind, as also his fuel point is being captured the entire time. And, well, snipers are forced to retreat. It's just not going all that well for him. Meantime, a bit of an assault on the left from the Volksgrenadiers. You know, incendiary grenade being thrown into the trench isn't really the best possible thing, but it does prevent the Brits from using that position for quite a while. Of course, there's a Vickers K universal carrier, which is very dangerous for guard, but the problem is this Rekenrifer near the battle group headquarters. The battle group does kind of prevent the Brits from actually assaulting this position unless they were to go with some kind of artillery, perhaps. They do have the artillery regiment, so they would be able to soon enough use that concentration barrage. Of course, they could upgrade their infantry sections. There's still one squad without the upgrade, so they could upgrade them with the artillery flares. But maybe they're thinking about the right side of the map. Now, Aaron has been pushed completely back to base, and also there's a big push coming in against the flanks of the Brits. Nice usage of the suppression fire from the universal carrier does manage to stop the infantry assault, but the Rekenrifer is going to be forcing away the UC. There's still a couple of infantry sections over here, but they're getting completely flanked by the huge push of the Germans. Now, the problem for the Germans is that now it's going to be the Brits that are going to be receiving reinforcements from the base instead of them. Still, this was a very good push because it's going to allow them to capture this point, which is going to cut off the fuel for the Brits and also forces to retreat a couple of squads. So it looks like the entire left side... Okay, hold on. Sorry. So it looks like the entire left side is completely fallen to the Germans. The right side is also completely in German hands. There is a scout car which is going to counter the sniper quite nicely. Again, this is the Soviet sniper, so they have absolutely no defense against the 222, and yeah, they're dead. I don't think they're going to be able to get out of this. Unless something happens, like a mine, of which there are none. Oh, but the scout car stops for some reason, and so may allow the snipers a way out. Oh shit, I wouldn't go in base if I were you. With the scout car, there's still the penals with the satchel charges. Okay, so scout car does manage to get out successfully. Good job. Decent harassment, but it could have been a little tiny bit better. So the Germans are absolutely dominant on the map right now. What the Allies maybe need to do is unite together into one force and just say, well, we're just going to give up the other side of the map. Because right now, they're just losing one-on-one on both flanks. So instead of fighting two 1v1s, perhaps they should be turning this game into a 2v2, forcing it in a way, trying to go both. Yeah, this is kind of what they're doing. So we have Aaron going for the center instead of the extreme right, and we have, of course, Guard going for his left side because he's the one that's doing the best out of the both allies. So that's kind of a good sort of change. Whenever you're doing something and it's not working, you should probably change instead of headbutting into a brick wall and trying to continue what you're doing when maybe it is not really working. Penals being upgraded with the PTRS is an interesting choice. Now, Aaron has gone for the Soviet Shock Army, which means that he's got the 120 mil. And also, he can go for some shock troops. Now, shock troops on this map, they do have some difficulties getting into close range. And right now, the huge... Oh, that's going to be a good grenade. Very nice. Actually, a Mills bomb, which is not something that you see every day being actually used by the Brits. The Mills bomb surprises the German player and destroys that entire squad. And of course, also the Rekenrifer gets completely and utterly annihilated. So the Brits might be able to recover that for themselves, which would be a very nice victory for them. I was just thinking that the Brits getting completely swarmed by the OKW, Volksgrenadier spam, might have been better served going for a Vickers machine gun, especially since Guard is floating a bit of manpower, but it looks like Guard is able to actually to defend himself without machine guns. Of course, still, I would go for a Vickers, because Vickers would be a nice bit of support on the left side for the AT gun and the sniper, of course. Meantime, on the right, nice usage of this combat engineer squad, doing a nice harassment move, and of course, there is a demo charge here. I wonder, ooh, Su-76. Su-76 forces away to 222, and uses the artillery also to nudge the grenadiers a bit forward over here. Gets a couple of kills, not much more though. Unfortunately, the engineers don't manage to capture the point, which would have given him free vision on the demo charge. But yes, oh, Su-76 is in trouble. Pack threatens to kill it, but yeah, manages to escape outside of the range. Well, now we're pretty much even, and I wonder what they're all doing. Now let's go over to teching. We have Guard not even having the company command post yet, but he does have the resources for the company command post, so soon enough we'll see that, I'm guessing. He went for a mortar pit right back at base. I'm thinking that this is supposed to cover the center and left VPs, which is an interesting choice, because that's 400 manpower. That's quite expensive, and also he put a Royal Engineer squad in the mortar pit. So that's also 280? No, 210. Sorry, I'm an idiot. 210 manpower. So that's 610 manpower right here. That's not really being used for much, but it is, however, in range of the Sheriff Panzer headquarters. So that's really good. I think that that mortar pit now can just completely, constantly, and mercilessly bombard the Sheriff Panzer and destroy it. That is to say, unless it decides to shoot at some other things, but yes. So Aaron went for the tier 3 and hasn't gone for a tier 4 because he's waiting with just 2 Super-76s as an anti-vehicle measure against anything that Korea might be bringing out. Support Arm Corps for Korean, and of course he could go for a Panzer IV, but at this point with 2 Su-76s, I myself would wait and go for something else. Perhaps a Panther, although in general 2 Su-76s is just kind of an annoying thing. It's not really going to hard counter anything except like a Panzer IV or an Ostwind. So really, anything goes for the Germans right now. They do have the Jaeger armor doctrine, so they have the Elephant available to them. I wonder if he's gonna be waiting for the Elephant. I don't think it would be the best choice, but oh well. This is not the best choice for the Soviet player. He needs to absolutely retreat as quickly as possible with both his vehicles and his sniper. Ooh, look at that. So lots of German troops coming in, and here comes the grenade on the mortar. Not the best possible choice, because of course it wasn't going to wipe it in the yellow cover. And yeah, I'm guessing that the Germans won't really be able to accomplish much with this push. On the left side, however, it seems like the Germans are doing a little bit better. Guard hasn't upgraded his infantry sections at all, which is interesting because he has 200 munitions, so I would have researched weapon racks in his place and gotten some Wrens, or even placed some mines. Here comes the double grenade on from both sides. The Brits do come on the better side of that and destroy the Obersoldan squad. In the meantime, it looks like the 3-inch mortar emplacement is getting counter-batteried by a LAIG support gun, but at the same time, it's almost managed to destroy the Sheriff Panzer headquarters. And soon enough, I think the Brits will be able to find out what's happening and try to destroy it. I would try with these Storm Pioneers to actually repair it as quickly as possible to avoid any unfortunate deaths, you know, as it may. Yeah, on the right side, there's still a bit of skirmishing going on. The 276s, of course, they can't really do much against infantry, but they're there just in case. And here comes a Stug. I think this is a mistake, because he's Jaeger armor doctrine. He can go later on for the Elephant if he needs the TD, and he does not really need a Stug 3G to deal with 2 Su-76s. What he needs to deal with the Su-76s is something that can flank them and get behind them. not something that slugs it out with them at medium range, like the Stuke 3G. But oh well. In the meantime, mortar emplacement is taking some fire, and has managed to destroy the Schwer Panzer, which is a very, very nice objective accomplished. Here comes a brace structure from the, of course, incendiary grenade by the Folks, which is, of course, what saves the mortar pit. Now, if I were him, guard, I would definitely focus both of my Royal Engineers on repairing this as quickly as possible, because I don't want the loss of the valuable mortar pit. And yes, in the meantime, on the right side, the Germans do have the advantage still, and they need to be trying, I mean the Allies, they need to try to capture and hold the ground, which is going to be pretty hard whenever you don't have tier 2. The support weapons Campania is of course kind of crucial for the AT guns and the Maxims. And right now, the absence of that really is being felt by Aaron, because he's just sitting there with his 2 Su-26s trying to, you know, hold back the swarm of German troops. Also with his torpedoes and the mortar. These are not units that are very good at defending against an attack. They're more, you know, apt for actually attacking, except of course the Su-76, which is supposed to just fight armor. But yeah, in general, it's just, ooh, close air support. Damn, Il-2 Sturmovik attack. That's quite harsh. 180 munitions just to push back those 2 grenadiers. A bit desperate, in my opinion. Yeah, he really needs machine guns. Actually, he needs machine guns pretty hard. On the left side, the Brits are doing a little bit better. What? Well, that was unexpected. Okay, so the Sherman Firefly getting 8 infantry kills with the Tulip rockets. I'm not sure. Oh, it's only 80 munitions now. Really? Right, because they did the buff nerf in the last patch. So it's actually kind of viable to use against infantry. Well, it wiped out a squad, so that was an interesting usage of the Tulip rockets. I'm not entirely sure I would have thought of that myself, but I'm definitely happy I saw that. That was very, very cool. I liked it. Good job by Guard. Yeah, he's still pushing up way into the German base. And finally starting to plant some mines using some of his ammo. Problem is, he's still not going for any weapon racks, which is, in my opinion, a big mistake. Aaron went for a 3rd Su-76. I myself would have gone for the tier 4 and the T-34-76, but oh well. Because really at this point, this is the end of that engineer. At this point, unfortunately, ooh, that shot, oh, here comes the demo chart. Ah, takes up 1 squad. Very nice. It was a vet-free squad with an LMG-42, so that was really nice for them. And yeah, so the Allies managing to get some crucial wipes at this point really puts them in the lead at this point, despite the fact that they're still kind of losing in the territory game. Somehow they still keep getting pushed back by the Germans, even though the Germans have completely inferior forces. That just still kind of baffles me. But yes, at this point the Allies do have the advantage, especially in terms of forces available to them, due to the fact that they have gotten those key wipes, and now they're also trying to capture and contest the center as well. So the VP game is pretty much in the favor of the Allies. They have more VPs, and they're now going to get almost a triple cap. Here comes some artillery from somebody. See, I saw rounds falling down here. What were those from? I'm guessing the Lord of the Phallus has... Oh. See, that looked like an on-map piece. Oh, it might have been the coordination barrage. But why would the British coordination barrage in their own territory? I do not know. Anyway, we do have the Sexton available for the Brits, and we also have the Valentine. Valentine might be a really good idea for the Brits, because the Germans have been huddled around, well, at least the Germans that Guard has been fighting, have been huddled around the same area for a long, long time. And of course, what that means is they could just map hack their way to victory by seeing everything that the Germans are doing. For example, they would have been able to see that the MG was positioned in this left flank and would have brought up their infantry through this gap in the arc of fire to destroy the MG. That's just an example of what the Valentine could have been used for. Of course, whenever you can get some map hacks going, you should probably do it, you know. And we'll see if there's going to be another Tulip snipe of the infantry coming in. Oh no, what is coming in is a concentration barrage with the airburst shells. We have the anvil upgrade on the company command post for Guard 2707, which is of course very, very effective against buildings with its high accuracy, well, quote-unquote accuracy. If you hit everything, it's still accuracy, I guess. But yes, so that destroys the battle cruisers almost. Very close. In fact, if the Tulip rockets had been used on the battle group, that would have been... That's so skillful, though. Because just imagine how hard it is to actually aim the Tulip at maximum range, because it pretty much explodes at maximum range or when it hits an obstacle. So imagine how hard it is to actually aim at an infantry unit with this thing. That was so good by Guard 707. That was great. I love that Tulip. And this kind of actually creates a new dimension for the Firefly that I had never kind of imagined. An anti-infantry dimension that, well, really, I just thought that this was only useful against enemy vehicles, but I guess I've been proven wrong. And right now, there's a King Tiger on the field for Loda de Phallus. That's a mistake, because the Brits have stolen 2 of his Raketans, so he should know better than to go for a big heavy tank. I mean, especially when there's a Firefly as well on the field. This just might be a little bit of a mistake. Now, he went for his Doctrine pick early, but in this situation, what would have been really good is the Elite Armored with the Sturm. Oh, looks like 2 76s went down, but 2 more came up to replace them. Die to I do not know what, most likely the 2 Stugs. Well, we have 1 vehicle kill here, and the other one probably was a Panzerfaust finishing it off. Oh well. 2 Su-76s might not be enough against this huge swarm of Germans. The Ved one still survives and manages to get quite a few rounds downrange against the Stugs. Stugs don't chase for whatever reason, and in fact, one of them pays for that with his life and dies to the vet-free Su-76. On the left side, we have a Churchill from Guard, and that's of course pretty good against enemy infantry. And is going to be a bit of a bulwark against the King Tiger. The problem is, Guard absolutely needs to repair his Firefly. He's only got 1 Royal Engineer left. I would go for a second one if I was him, because 2 engineers is always important, because you always want to have 1, you know, repairing things, and 1 minesweeping, or 1 laying down mines, and 1 minesweeping, or 2 repairing. It's just useful to have more than 1. Of course, it seems like on the right side, the Germans really are lacking in map control for some reason, even though we have a huge swarm of vehicles and infantry that's ready to both capture and hold territory, because we do have an MG42 here. So that's an interesting thing that the Allies have been able to actually keep the map control on the right side, even though they should not have been. Well, this sniper is in deep trouble. Luckily for it, the L2 Stormovik attack does suppress all of these Grenadiers, but it still might go down to the Panzer IV's chase. Panzer IV stops to get some extra accuracy on the MG42 and guns down the sniper, unfortunately. Vet-free under 150mm might also go down. It's almost dead. I would definitely retreat if I was it. Of course, the 120 can retreat with only 1 man, but best not to invoke the gods of RNG. And yeah, ooh, huge mortar hit from the mortar pit, actually. So mortar pit up to vet-free, and in the meantime, the Sherman Firefly is being sent on the right side because Guard, at this point, he's feeling pretty safe on the left side with his anti-tank guns, his Churchill, and his trenches, so he thinks that he can actually keep that area under his control. And indeed, also the Germans don't really think they can capture the area and send the KT to the right side. So it looks like the final climax is going to happen on the right side of the map. 222 is still alive with the spotting scope, so providing the map hacks for the Germans quite nicely, even without, yeah, look at that. When it's standing still, it's a screen and a half. When it's not, it's still a screen of line of sight. So the 222 definitely... Oh, here comes a stun on the KT from the Tulip rockets. And so the KT is definitely in big trouble. Here comes the satchel charge from the Pinos. No, they actually decided to retreat. Actually, one of them did manage to destroy the engine. And right now, here comes the flank from the Brits. The slowest flank in the world because there's a Churchill in it. Looks like the vet-free Su-76 went down. And at this point, Aaron, for whatever reason, still hasn't gone for a tier 4. And so he's not able to actually bring out T-24-76s to get a flanking maneuver off on this KT. Or Su-85, sorry, to get some snipes at long range. But at this point, the Brits are charging in with their Churchill and their Raketenwerfers. Oh, this might be very, very bad. Here comes the grenade from the Churchill on the huge swarm of German troops. The tractor saves the Germans because it blocks the grenade. Very lucky. In the meantime, the Stug and the Panzer IV are flanking the poor Churchill, which is getting also Panzerfausted from the front by the German squads. The Panzer IV almost manages to escape. It does manage to escape, actually. It does not manage to get a winning shot on that Churchill. Of course, the Stug Free tries to get the winning shot. At this point, if I was the Churchill, I would definitely target the Stug, especially as if the 6-pounder gets destroyed. Here comes the last possible shot from the Churchill. Misses. Unfortunate. But we have the PTRSs coming in from the flank. Might be able to destroy or at least force away the Stug. So this huge fight is still going on because the Germans have brought in reinforcements. The Grenadiers are still around. And right now the Allies have brought in their infantry. And of course the Churchill is managing to escape and everybody's trying to repair. There's a Su-76 that's been brought out by Aaron. And that manages to finish off the Stug. However, it doesn't manage to finish off the KT, as that has been prepared by the huge swarm of Sturm Pioneers by Lord of the Phallus. Of course, there's quite a lot of weapons strewn about the battlefield, which might be recovered by the Allies at this point, because they are left with the control of the field. Which means that the Allies did really win the fight, even though it was a big giant draw in a way. Nobody really coming clearly on top. Here comes a satchel charge to destroy the LEIG, and of course, because of that, yeah, because of that, and because of the fact that the Allies were already winning, that means that the Allies really do win the fight. And this might be the end of the machine gun and the sniper. Yep, there goes the sniper, 504 XP. Yeah. That was not very good. KT still funneling himself into a very narrow choke point is definitely not the best thing. There are 2 Fireflies now. The Veterancy 2-1 is in deep trouble and needs to retreat. And of course, the other German Firefly can't really do much against the swarm of German troops. Here comes a Stuka strike. Where? Where was that? I'm not sure. Anyway, KT was forced to retreat, and the Germans really did recapture the right side of the map, but the center is still in the hands of the Brits. Here comes a huge Il-2 attack that's going to take quite a bit of a toll on the German infantry. Look at that damage. Holy shit. And of course, the MG42 does manage to suppress these poor Pinols, but unfortunately, it's not enough because the Germans are down to 35 VPs, and so they're gonna be in deep, deep trouble if they can't capture one of the VPs, and they just don't have the infantry at this point. They can maybe defend the right side, and that as well is kind of a maybe, because the Brits and the whoa, Panzer IV deciding to come in to try to finish off the Firmer Firefly, I'm guessing, that does go down. So this is going to be the end of the game. Now, what could the Germans have done differently? I think that the teching choices were definitely a big, big detriment to them. If Korea had gone for, indeed, either a more coherent tier 3 approach with maybe 1 P4 and 1 Ostwind, and then going straight to the Elephant, or had just gone for a tier 4 and gotten a Panther or 2, that would have been definitely much better than what he did, which was kind of half-assing onto the tier 3 and not really making use of his Doctrine, which is really the biggest problem. And then for Lord of the Phallus, the fact that he went for that KT allowed Guard to actually prepare for the KT. Now, if he had gone for something like a P4 or maybe even a Panther, he might have been able to catch Guard without really too much AT. And I'm still thinking that if he had gone for at lead armored, he would have had a much better chance of actually breaking through the British defenses on the left side. And then he could have supplemented that with a Panther or something. Aaron, also weird tech choices. Not backtaking to tier 2, in my opinion, a bit of a mistake. Because if he just had a Maxim, a lot of his problems on the right side might have just not existed. Of course, you may say, oh, there was a sniper on the German side. But the reason the sniper on the German side was able to operate freely is because the Soviet sniper was constantly forced back to base. The Soviet sniper also died at some point, just like the German sniper. He was getting constantly forced back to base, right? By the Grenadiers most of the time. Sometimes by the 222, but by the Grenadiers most of the time. So if there had been a Maxim or 2 to actually cover the sniper, then the sniper could have himself covered the machine gun from the German, sniper as well. So that would have been a bit of a virtuous cycle instead of what happened, which was, kind of a shame, because he was able to kind of capture the territory, but then never really hold it for any extended period of time because he didn't have support weapons that could just anchor down on an area. He tried to use demo charges once or twice to do that, but of course that's not really enough. You can kill some people with the demo charges, but you can't really hold down a whole area. Now, Guard 2707, really good play in general. I was skeptical about the mortar pit at first, but it didn't really work out in the end. And at some point, he was really able to hunker down, unlike his teammate. The only weird thing would be the Doctrine pick, but of course he wanted to use the Concentration Barrage plus the Anvil tactics. Now, I'm not sure why he didn't just go for a infantry section with the Artillery Flares upgrade. Just going for one, and then you can heal it up with the other squads. I don't know. That would have been, I think, more cheap. Because I think it's only like 40 munitions to throw the artillery flare, whereas it's 100 to go for the concentration barrage. And I don't think there's really much difference between the two. So yes, the Doctrine pick, a little weird. And of course, also the fact that he didn't go for any weapon upgrades on his infantry still kind of make me salty. Because I don't know, I feel like he would have had a much easier time on the left side in the early game when there were all those Volksgrenadiers running about if he had either A, gone for a Vickers, or B, upgraded his infantry sections with some Wrens. Of course, he used his grenades really nicely, and he used his Tulip rockets extremely well, so of course, his consumable play, I guess you could say consumables, was really on point, but well. So yeah, I guess it's gonna be about it. I want to thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.